What's up, everybody? Welcome to Content Creator Hangout, the place where creators meet community. If this is your first time on this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, click that bell so you don't miss future videos and live streams. Did I already say that? I don't know. I'm losing it. It's been a long weekend. Kids trick-or-treated yesterday. I got my friend back, okay? Coffee with Pips. He was in my last live stream, but then I think the connection was all messed up. So, hey, it happens when we live stream. So I'm just going to bring him right back in. And what is going on, Pips?
Hey, how are you? So,
Hey.
yeah, we were talking about the new Melon that you're
Yes.
streaming with.
Yes.
It's very clear, very nice. I like it. So,
as long as it doesn't kick us out again.
Yeah, but you know what? It's probably one of the clearest, nicest ones that I've seen so far. So I really like it.
Yeah, I agree. I think just the interface, and that's the thing. I think just the longer that we use these things, I think it'll get easier. And I'm going to see if we can get James in here this time. So we got James Pruitt in there. So let's see if we can get another creator in here. So this is the stuff that I'm excited for.
Right.
And we'll see how it goes. I know the more creators we get in here, I think the better chance of it lagging, but who cares? Let's see if it works.
Right. That's what we're for. I mean, and Content Creator Hangout, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we talk about. And
that's right.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think that's just for me, it's just a conquering fear thing. It's weird because even in my first live stream, even though I live streamed so many times, I felt like it was like writing with cursive. After you stop doing it for so long, like you remember in the back of your head, but
right. Well,
I'm gonna see. So I did put it in the chat. I put the link there. And what I want to do is, we were talking before about subscribers. We can go back into that again. But what I really want to do for this one, since honestly, I think I covered what I really wanted to cover as far as subscribers go. And to summarize that up, I think it's just the faster way most likely is probably going to lead you to the wrong way.
Absolutely.
Probably going to audit your and you're probably going to lose those subs anyway, and it's going to take you time than actually focusing on your actual content, letting YouTube do the work. And then also I just threw out too, and I think that's where I lost you in the stream. I don't know if I was cut out either, but if you look in your analytics and you see that video that's giving you the most subscribers, maybe that'd be a great opportunity to use that as your video when people are first coming in.
Right.
So when people see your first channel, you may want to do that donut video.
Yeah, and it's a matter of figuring all of that out too, how it all works. I still really don't even understand end screens and cards and things like that. So it's just kind of muddling my way through. And again, that's what content creator is going to be really great for, and to be able to, come in and talk with each other about those things. And I mean, everybody's good at, different things. And, when you bounce through the internet or through YouTube, you have all of these content creators. Well, it's saying, get 1,000 likes in 24 hours or subscribers in 24 hours. And you're hearing all different things from so many people. I think if we're consistent and we stay together, we're like consistent and we're all on the same page. And I think that's how we're going to grow.
A team, man. And that's one thing I felt like I never had. And there was a couple creators I was cool with, but you feel alone. And speaking of team, let's go ahead and bring James in here too.
Good
evening, James.
What's up?
How are ya?
Not much. How y'all doing?
Good. We were talking a little bit when we were off, and now that he knows, I know where he's from. He knows where I'm from, and it's all good.
Yes.
We're already friends.
Let's hear about you, James. Where are you from, man? And what's your channel all about? Let us know.
Well, I have two channels. I'm from just south of Austin, Texas, and I have two channels. My primary channel right now, I've got about 850 subscribers. It's the Storage Scavenger. I clean out abandoned storage units, and we resell the stuff we find. We do auctions right there on our YouTube channel. But my new channel is about a month old, and it's under my name. It's just James Pruitt. That's the one I'm logged into right now. And I'm helping other creators build their YouTube channels, optimize their channels for successful growth and create more engagement with their audience.
Right on. And I think it's cool that you started over too. And it's funny because for me, it was much easier once I had gained those subscribers and everything else. But I think it's cool because you're pretty much in the same boat as me, is, you know, starting over, and you can do that with the creators. So I think we're at a really cool point in our journeys where people are like, you know, I'm not getting views. Well, guess what? Me either, you know, and because it takes time, and, you know, we can do this together. So I think that's cool.
Yeah. Well, and part of it was like, I started the new channel mainly because a lot of people in that community, in the reselling community, were coming to me almost daily asking me questions, and it was taking me time away from my
Yes.
business answering everybody's questions. Like the very first thing I had on my new channel was a step-by-step walkthrough of StreamYard. And the reason why was, in one weekend, I spent 5 hours walking different channels through how to use StreamYard.
Yep.
And so that was the first thing I recorded. And basically, most of the videos that I've made on that channel are just answering the questions that people ask me almost every day.
Man, that is a really good point. Yes. And for me too, that's exactly what had really led me here to Content Creator Hangout, just because I had people, I was always sharing my content. And Pips, I don't know if you'll see this eventually, but, you know, you're sharing your content, and people naturally are like, oh, so first of all, how many subscribers do you have? That was always one that, especially talking to kids. But,
Right.
you know, how do you do that? How do you even have a channel? Do you get money from YouTube? And then, you know, I've always thought about starting a YouTube, but how do you do that? And then I'm just spending like so much time, but I loved it. You know, I felt like I love that more than my content. You know?
It is really neat. It's just a matter, you know, people, that's the first thing they go to. So you're right. You know, how many subscribers you have. And if you don't have, you know, 50 million subscribers, and, you know, it's like, oh, then it mustn't be a good channel, so I'm not going to go to it. So that's, there's a stigma there with not having.
Absolutely.
I think that depends on your niche too. Like in this creator space, not having very many subscribers will keep a lot of people from coming to see what you have to say.
Right.
But in other niches and other communities, it's not quite that way. And it's also like this, the creator space is not as active. And I don't mean that they don't put out a lot of content. It's just, at least with the channels I'm following, like in this niche, I'm finding maybe, you know, 5, 6, 7 live streams, and they're almost all on the weekend. And I'm coming from the reselling space where at any time of day, I can find at least 2 or 3 channels online and jump on a live stream with somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like what
you said. Grew my channel. That's how I grew my channel. Honestly, it wasn't through search. It was through getting out, jumping on people's live streams and talking about what we were doing with that channel.
That's good idea. That was my question, is how you were building your channel. So that really kind of gives me an answer there. And that's a good advice. And I think, like, you know, networking, and I think we have an advantage, all of us together, you know, just being able to be, thinking the same way. Now, you just gave me a real great information, and Brandon is giving, good information. It's back. We're sharing this, and it's like, it's only going to make us better. And I think it's going to be like, you know, everybody's going to want to be here. So we're on the ground floor of something big. So I'm excited.
Appreciate that.
But see, this is why I put my value proposition with my channel the way I did. First, I help people build. I help people optimize it, and then how to engage the audience and get them to your channel. Because if you're engaging the audience and getting them to your channel, but your channel's not optimized to keep them here,
right,
you're going to lose them. And that's what happened to me with my first channel. I lost a lot of people. I had my first collab, I only had like 10 videos on my channel. My playlists were all over the place. My channel looked like crap. And I got almost 200 subscribers. I probably could have had 500 to 600 off of that collab had my channel been properly optimized.
That's a really good point, and I'll definitely second that. You know, we look in, like I was talking about this earlier when me and you were on there, Pips, and you're looking at your simple question of just how do I gain subscribers, and that's what I was talking about. But it's a little bit of everything. But starting with the basics, it's crazy how much there's actually in play when it comes to the foundation. And most
Right.
people that are like, I'm not getting subscribers. Why is that? And when we look at the channel, usually you're going to see a bunch of red flags. Like he said, playlists are all over the place. They're not optimized. Keyword research is, you won't believe what I did today. And you're doing that because you've seen somebody with millions of subscribers. And while, yes, everything isn't about keyword research, it is difficult in the beginning because you do, for like this channel, you have 40 subscribers. So people automatically assume your quality of your content is minimal. What do you know, man?
Yeah, in the beginning, everything needs to be about getting people on your channel and keeping them there. So getting views. That's what everything should be about. Getting views and keeping them watching as long as possible, because that's what's going to trigger the algorithm to show your channel to more people, and that's what's going to get more subscribers. Because if you focus on those things, if you focus on how can I improve my impressions, how can I improve my views, my click-through rate and view count, and how can I improve my watch time, if you focus on those three metrics instead of subscribers, the subscribers are going to take care of themselves. I've got this channel. I've had this channel for just a little over 4.5 weeks, not quite 5. And I'm already at 52 subscribers. Some of those, a handful of them followed me from my other channel, but most of them are people I've gained since then, just from networking, talking to people, and getting some stuff already ranking in search.
And letting the YouTube collect that data and push it out. Let YouTube do the work for you. Yeah. Networking, man. Networking is so
and the other thing is, like, okay, you get experience. You're coming from a different perspective than when you started the first time. When I started my first channel, I had 20 subscribers for like 4 months.
Yes.
And they were all friends and family.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Mom, where you at? Yeah, no, I hear you.
Yeah, come on. I have to. But it does get frustrating. I think that's why a lot of people quit. I hear more people quitting every day, and then there's more, new channels starting up again. And I think everybody's looking for the fast, like lottery. You're going to have that big viral video, and you're going to make it, make millions like Mr. Beast. But people don't realize that he's been.
Mr. Beast was making videos for 3 years before he became Mr. Beast.
At least 3.
Exactly. But see, that's what you look at as a movie star. That's what you want to be like. That's what you aspire to be like. And, in the beginning, I know I haven't been doing this, that long, but I would look at other channels and say, well, God, my channel's so much better than that. Why am I not getting?
You can do that, but I'll tell you, you gotta watch that, because I was doing a channel review for somebody just a couple of days ago that came to me with the exact same thing you just said. He said, my content's better than everybody else's. I don't know, and I've been doing this for over a year. He only had like 120 subscribers.
Right.
Well, I looked at his channel, and it's exactly what I was just talking about a few minutes ago. His channel was absolutely no keywords in any of his titles. No optimization, no call to action on his homepage to subscribe, no value proposition on his banner. I had no idea what his video was about. I watched one of his videos. It took almost 10 minutes to get into his content because it was just random BS that happened throughout his day before he got into the actual content that his video was about.
Right.
And if I wasn't reviewing that video just to see how long it took, I would have been gone long before then.
Right. See, that's the problem too. And I learned not to look at others and say, why am I not like that? Are you looking and learning? It's like taking everything and saying, oh, that's something good that maybe I'll try that, and so rather than being focused on who's better, I don't think by any means I think I'm, better than anybody, but you just look at something that looks really really bad.
Well,
Working.
you know, we all get that pride in our stuff, and
Right.
I've had
Right.
videos like that where I looked at a thumbnail and I was like, "Why am I not getting a click through rate? My thumbnail's better than these other people's, and they're getting thousands of views." But you've got to step outside of yourself and say, "Okay, something's not connecting with the viewer."
That's a hard thing to do.
Right.
And
Yeah.
everything's not about what you like. It's not about what you personally think. It's about what the viewers think. And
Right.
you got to get it in front of the viewers. If you're not even getting it in front of the viewers, that's half the battle. And I tell people, if you're not getting at least 1,000 impressions, you need to be working on how you get more impressions. You can't get views if nobody's
That's where it
seeing
starts. Impressions is where it starts. It's not with your click-through rate. It's not with your watch time. If you're not getting impressions, you can't get those clicks. And if you don't have the clicks, you can't get those views. You know what I mean? And then you're not getting that watch time. It's a domino effect. So you're absolutely right. It starts with your impressions.
And I think
is the key to start. But I also see when you're doing keyword research, you know, I use TubeBuddy, you use MorningFame.
Yep.
But I see people that are coming out here with no experience with keyword research that try to go for those mega keywords with massive competition.
Right.
Well,
yes.
And this is something, would you rather have 100 videos getting zero traffic because you're targeting keywords you don't have a chance in hell in competing against the bigger channels for? Or 10 videos bringing you 10 visitors a day, which equals 100 visitors a day that have these little micro keywords. So I use the little micro keywords, the less competition, the
long-tail keywords.
Yep, those long tail keywords. And the thing is, if you do your long tail keyword research right, those longer tail keywords still have those smaller keywords and sometimes multiple versions of those smaller keywords in them.
Well, what I'm interested in is I'm going to see how this works out. I'm going to do a share screen, and I'm going to pull up Coffee with Pips on here, and we can all take a look. Now, this is a thing, and I've seen this quite often on a lot of big channels, is they'll do channel reviews, and yes, of course, like I always want to keep it kind on here and be nice and, you know, positive criticism, but constructive as well. But I think there's always a learning opportunity. Even for my own channel, I want to update my banner. I want to probably get a new logo. Things take time, even if they take money, if you're going to use Fiverr, stuff like that. But
I've had my channel 5 weeks, and I've already redone my banner like 7 times. So
yeah, and it's just like
constantly trying to tweak things to see if I can make it just a little bit better.
And before I get into this, I do want to mention this as well. This is my suggestion, but you know, when you're optimizing your videos, go ahead and try out different thumbnails. I don't think that people should update their titles and maybe even mess with your description, but definitely your thumbnails. You want to get that click-through rate probably as close as you can to that 10%, you know, I would say to start off. But, you know, if it's at 5% and your click-through rate goes to 10%, you just doubled your views. So just play with that a little bit, maybe once a week, you know, but once you find that good click-through rate, well, then you're golden and give it some time. But that's what I would like to just say before we get started on this.
Yep.
Perfect.
So I'm going to do share screen. All right. So you guys let me know. Can you guys see my screen?
Not yet.
Nope.
All right. So.
Oh, there we go. See, now this is what I was talking about, the banner. It works like on the phone. It doesn't work on here. So it's like, it's almost like what size do you make it that it can work on everything. So I just don't have that figured out.
There's actually a template. You can just go to Google and type in a YouTube banner template.
Yeah.
And it'll bring up images of a template that you can actually download and import it into your image editor. And it says, this is what it'll show. It has like 3 different colors, and it says this area will be shown on TV, this area will be shown on desktop, and this area will be shown on mobile.
You can get that right in your Google search.
Everything so that it's well optimized. I use that every time I make my banners.
See, yeah.
But one thing I don't see on your banner, and this is one of the things I talked about, a call to action to subscribe.
Right.
You can actually get your channel link and do a subscribe button, and you can go into your videos page and add a subscribe button on your banner.
That's exactly what I just did.
Where you can add links and you can put your subscribe links there. And I have one right there on my banner to get people to subscribe.
That's a great point. The goal is to keep people on YouTube. So I see this all the time. They got their Facebook,
And if you're a
Instagram.
small channel, even keep them on YouTube, but keep them on your channel as much as possible. Don't be if you're a small channel. This is another one of those things you see big channels doing is shouting out other channels, sending people to other channels. When you're small, you want to keep people on your channel. So you need to not be doing their shout outs. Don't be doing recommended channels and all that stuff until you're a little bit bigger.
Right.
Agreed.
Perfect. Well, I like the put in the link in the banner, though. That's awesome. Never even thought of it.
Yes. I actually just did that, I think, last week. So I'm interested to see how that pans out. But like you said, especially just keeping them on YouTube. And so I'm interested. Now, Pips, I know we tried to pull up before your analytics, but I would just say, like, looking at this here, I think, playing with your playlists, I don't know how it is within your niche, but I think it's good. You have most popular uploads, but, you can always do your own custom, like best videos by Coffee with Pips. Under that, you can do latest uploads, because a lot of times, too, you can do your own. When you do a playlists are also searchable, and I feel like they're also often neglected.
Yes. And that's one of the things that I say on those top ones. I get rid of that most popular one and I make my own so that it's, again, keyword optimized and more engaging, because the default ones you can't edit, but you can just delete them off of there and put your own in there so that it's keyword optimized. And it's got more engaging title that's going to compel people to click rather than just popular uploads. You can say best videos for this.
Yes. And another example here for like setting up my studio, right? So just think about this, Pips. Like if you were to type in Google search, or if you were to type in on YouTube, would you type in setting up my studio, right? Best YouTube setup for table talks, or maybe just trying to find that searchable keyword phrase, and you can use that as the title of your playlist as well.
And well, now the thing with that I'm glad you brought that up. When I first was starting, I was like, okay, I'm going to talk about a lot of different things, because that's what I do for a living, public relations. So it's like, okay, I want to talk about this, I want to talk about that, and I was all over the board. So some of these videos that are up there they're not food related. So should I take those down? Is that like interfering with my channel in any way?
I'll let you go first, James. Go ahead.
It does, but you also don't want to lose the views and the watch time they already have.
Oh, okay.
So I would leave them there, but just kind of put them like in their own separate playlist so that they're not right front and center. You want this is one of the questions I was actually about to ask you is, I can't look at you. When I see Coffee with Pips, I thought maybe you were a coffee channel. But then I'm looking for content, and it's not really showing anything about coffee.
Yeah.
Except for this first one that says Dunkin' Donuts, and that's about a donut, not Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
Hey,
you
Pips,
want a unique value proposition that tells people what your channel is about, and that needs to be what's right there front and center on your banner.
You're right. I mean, these are things I think when you're doing, I don't have the knowledge you guys do, but when you're creating a channel and everything, you see things so different. And then when people from the outside, like you guys, look at it and it's like, wow, this all makes sense. But
it's everything you have to look at, and that's what we were talking about earlier. Don't think about what you don't think about yourself. Think about the viewer experience, and everything you're looking at, anything on your channel, whether it's how you present your content, you do your thumbnails, everything's about how would a viewer that has never heard of me react to this? Because you also have to remember, unless you're not, the reason people don't grow is the only people seeing their channel are the people already subscribed to them. You should have 70 to 80% of your traffic people that have no idea who you are 100%. And have never heard of you.
And you can see that in your analytics.
Who you are and what your channel's about when they come in. And then I didn't get to see, you didn't click over, what's your About tab? That's one of the first places I look at anybody's channel when I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
because this is one of my most visited. At least you have something there, which is actually pretty good. Most
That
channels,
is
I find
actually
it
good.
blank.
And I want to refine that to be a little more in depth that what I do. I mean, it's like it says
You updated this, didn't you, Pips?
Yeah,
It looks better.
yeah. We've talked about that, and
It's actually doing pretty good, but I would keyword optimize this page as well,
okay.
because this page can rank in search.
Yes, and it's the first
So
thing
you,
people are going to see when they click on your channel. It's going to show
yeah,
below.
this is one of the most viewed pages on my channel. When people who don't know me come here, this is where they're going to go to figure out who I am and if I have anything for them.
But you see, Josh, James, one of the first things that he did, what I was telling him about before, was he had the word "I" a lot, and me, I, my. So he optimized this, and I can already feel the difference here, like where we compare and review food products and conduct. It's that inclusion, and that's just something I've seen, and that's something I did when I first started too. But it's just that inclusion, or you can even do you, right? Because I see here we do we a lot.
I like
but you
to
can
do the
use you.
you. Like, what are again? It's about the you. What are you gonna get when you come to my channel?
Yes.
Great.
Looks better though, Pips.
Thank you. And then, like I said, it's always room for improvement. I'm thinking I
Always.
want to refine that. So now, if you go in and change any of this, is it going to just throw everything off? I mean, I know that if you would change titles in like your videos, that would
No.
definitely.
I think if anything, it'll help you, especially like you said, putting that keyword research.
I mean, it's gonna benefit you. You also have to remember YouTube is a long-term game. You've got to think about it long term. It might do a small amount in the short term, but in the long term, it's going to benefit you more.
Right. Yeah, it's like, and I think, if you're serious about you want to work on it to make it better, and it's just like it's a learning experience and a learning curve, and I think, like I said, you have a passion for it and you don't quit. You just keep going, and we're a great support group for each other, because it's like I know that you guys will say keep going, and it's like when I want to quit,
Heck
and
yeah.
versa. That's what we need to do.
That's what it's all about, man, and that's what's going to save you from burnout.
And again, it's figure out that value proposition, and that should be like the first thing in everything you do. It should be on your banner. It should be right there in your description. It should be anywhere you go. It should be the first thing you say in a video. Giving that value proposition, drilling that into people's heads. Why should they listen to you?
Right.
That's what that unique value proposition. What are they going to get by watching your channel?
Yeah, James, and you're right. It starts with the basics, and everybody knows that, but it's just, a lot of, I think, creators first starting off, and if that's you watching right now, and if this is your first time on the channel, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell. But, one of my main things is starting with the basics, and, not having the expectation of, okay, I'm going to record this video, and then I'm just going to submit it. Right? I'm going to publish that video, and then you just think that you're going to get these results, and I see it time and time again. And I let go of the expectation that I'm not worried about my subscriber count. I'm happy for each subscriber I have, but I just focus on the content. Is it harder at first with low subscribers, even if your quality is great? Yes, but it's just being persistent, consistent, right? And making each video better. And I feel like it just starts with that,
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. Once I got past the the amount of subscribers, and just really working on that, I was able to work on my content a little more, and by not worrying about as many subscribers, I was able to put more energy and creativity in my content, and really like it a lot better, rather than being like, oh no, my subscriber count isn't up where it should be, or I've lost subscribers, and I'm like really panicking. I'm like, oh, why am I losing subscribers?
Yep. So don't even look at it.
I don't even worry about. Honestly, I mean, you lose. I was over at D Nimmons live before y'all came on the first time, and then I went back over there when y'all were gone. And one of the things he was saying over there, he loses 2,000 subscribers a month.
Wow. Jeez.
Think about that. I wish
Now,
I had 2,000 subscribers to lose.
Right.
He
yeah,
loses more in a month than I've gained in a year.
yeah,
But
right.
just think about it in perspective. You're going to lose subscribers. So don't even worry about the
Yeah,
ones that are going. Some of them may be bot accounts that subscribe to your account. Some of them could have been sub for sub accounts hoping to get you to sub back. Some of them could have been, people that they didn't jive with your content or with your particular style of delivery. So
right.
you never know why people are going to leave. They may be not interested in your niche anymore,
And
I mean,
yeah, and that's why we talk a lot about niching down, and I think starting off, okay, play around with it, find maybe you don't know, but the sooner that you do know, I feel like the better. And the more you can hit that
the
trending
more
topic or
and the tighter you can focus in, even just on a sub niche of the niche. Don't just think food reviews. What style of food? What type of food? There's so many different types of food, and there's so many food channels out there. What's setting you apart from all the other channels?
he's
Like
a
one of the
funny
things,
guy.
You were
one
saying
of
that.
the keys of mine, this distinction, and if you look at most of the content on my James Pruitt channel, most of my content right now is on how to create more engagement with your content. And I'm teaching things I've learned from studying public speaking and all these other things. The reason why is because nobody else in the creator space is teaching that information.
See,
It's a
They're
good idea.
telling you it's important.
right.
Everybody tells you all the time it's one of the most important things you can do, but nobody's teaching how to do it.
The why, not the how.
So I'm
Yep.
answering those questions with my channel. That's something that distinguishes me from all the other channels in the community. What is it
Mhm.
about your channel that separates you from all the other food channels out there? And that's what
Right.
needs to be in that unique selling point. That needs to be what you're telling people every time they come to your channel. And it should
Mhm.
be bold right there in the top so that when I land on your channel, I know I'm going to get this from you.
And yeah, that's unique too because like say for content creator hangout, I see advice channels, I see that quite often and my goal is to get them to come here, and I mean, obviously like that's good for this channel, but that's the whole point of this channel. Getting different people within the same space, different spaces, coming together, giving tips because my tips, James, can be same, but we can have different viewpoints and sharing our viewpoints together because watching D. Neiman, Nick Neiman, Brian G. Johnson, Creator Fundamentals, video creators, a lot of them say the similar things, but
Yeah.
what's the common theme here? And that's what I was always looking for, sharing that with somebody amazing like Pips, and other creators.
But each one of them, if you look at all the bigger channels, each one of them say a lot of the same things,
Yes.
but they all have their own unique things that they're known for.
Yes.
Nick Nimmin built his reputation on doing graphics. He did a lot of graphic design. He ran a graphic design company before he started this channel. And so he does a lot of graphics. D is known for the mobile stuff. He does mobile content creation. Daniel Batal, he's known for Filmora and Filmora video editing. So they're all known for different things that are specific, but then in their general advice, it's pretty much all the same.
Right. And it's pretty neat though that we have a plethora of different creators in an area like Brendan's right here with Content Creator Hangout. So if you don't have competition, so if they have like two the same niches, you're all in it to what I mean. We're all in it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
We don't.
That's when you stop, when you really niche it down into the
Right.
niches and get really, really specific and set yourself up with that unique selling point. You don't have any competition. Now
Right.
you have opportunities for co-collaboration because you don't have to compete with the other people. They're co-collaborators for content instead of competitors for content.
Exactly, and that's just it. I mean, first of all, it's a lot healthier and less stressful. But the thing is, I want to take, what are you doing that I'm not doing, and then same vice versa. It's like
that's a great thing to bring up because that's doing your own research is very important. And like James was saying, these say content creators that are giving advice, they say this a lot of similar things, but they have their own way of saying it. And
Mhm.
that's the buy-in right there. It's I can get the information from somewhere else, but that's like a master class too. I'd rather
Yeah.
spend my money and give it to you because I trust you. I got that buy-in. You know, I know you're going to stay consistent. And I think you've built that trust. And that's where I say separating subscribers to real followers.
Right.
And yeah, for you, like I say, Pips, like you're a really funny guy. And James, we didn't tell you this, but I love the slogan, you know, coffee with Pips without the coffee, you know, or like, you know, food with no coffee, or because he never has coffee in his videos, and he's a funny guy. And so,
Right.
yeah.
This last one, you'll be surprised. I overdrink the coffee. This one that's going to come out tomorrow. For tomorrow, it's like,
Oh, there you go.
because of you. I overdid it with the coffee this time.
Yes.
See, and that's great. Bring that personality, bring that humor
Yes.
into your content, and
Right.
and that's what's going to connect with people. But as long
Right.
as you're keeping that content, you're building that trust, and I tell people, especially if you're in educational space, we really
Mhm.
have three main focuses that we need to work on. We need to work on entertaining, and I'm not the most entertaining presenter, especially with the newer stuff. I'm loosened up a lot with my live streams and stuff on my other channel.
Mhm.
But first, we have to entertain people in some way. We have to educate them, and then we have to engage with them. And
Right.
you know,
Mm.
and this is kind of what my value proposition came from. Is everybody's talking about getting engagement from your subscribers? And nobody's telling people to get out there and engage with your potential subscribers, because that's how I got mine. Not by waiting for them to come to my channel and engage with me. I went
Right.
out and engaged with them.
Mhm. And
Yes.
oh, I'm sorry. Do you find it, either of you, that it's a good idea to ask questions, more questions, and say, you know, leave it, you know, your ideas in the comments. That
Mhm. That's great.
Absolutely. Yes, you're engaging with your
Absolutely.
audience. I
Because
think,
that,
yeah.
well, again, that's engaging with your audience and getting them to engage with you.
Mhm.
Remember, YouTube looks at engagement on your content as some of those factors for whether they're going to show it up in search or not, or show it out on a recommended video or not. That's
Right.
why it's important to get the likes. That's why it's important to get the comments. That's why it's important to get people binge watching your content, clicking on those end screen cards and checking out your next video.
Yeah.
Those are all factors that YouTube takes into account that says people liked this piece of content. We're going to show it to other people that watch content like them.
But it
Right.
takes time. And to
Mhm.
think that all that's going to happen overnight, it's not going to. Now, yes, you can optimize it overnight, but for YouTube to gather that data and push that out, that's not an overnight thing. People are lucky, right? The algorithm can just
Oh,
be
sure.
that one person, but
But that's
that's it.
why you need to do what you can to feed the algorithm as many
Basics.
views as possible from your ideal target. This is why it's important to identify. See, I'm not out there on just every channel in live streams. I'm very, very specific on which channel I'm on and which live streams I'm in.
Right. Right. See, and that's what I found. You know, listening to, well, Sean Cannell and all of them, and you know, just, and when I saw Brendan, I was just like, you know what, I something clicked, and I was like, I really like this guy, and it's like, wow, if people just come here, you're real engaging, and
Thank you, Pips.
yeah, you'll really bring them in, and it's like it's brought me in. And I thought, well, I didn't look at the number of subscribers. If I did, it would be like, oh, you know, forget it. But it was you and what talking about and how you carried yourself, and I think that you could tell you really had have a passion. So I
Well,
think,
thank you, Pips. And yeah, James, I mean, you have a lot to offer, and that's
oh,
apparent. So
yeah,
anybody watching this on the replay, make sure you check out James. And I have no problem, you know, sending people out. And if you can do your research, gather information from other resources, especially when you're trying to grow your channel, so be it. As long as all the creators come back here and we all join each other, that's cool. And what I
right.
would say too is starting off, you know, with those impressions when we're gaining impressions. What a lot of people, okay, Pips, I'll just direct this right towards you. Okay, for
Hmm.
instance, when your video, let's say your donuts video, okay, you've recently done, um, let me click over here. So we got the Dunkin' Donuts new spicy ghost pepper donut, right? So you're doing
Right.
really good here. All I want to say real quick is that I assume that your impressions are going up, and they're going to, and that your click through rate is probably good as well. But don't forget that the more views that are coming your way and the more impressions that are coming out, there's a good chance that your click through rate is probably going to go down as well, because you're pushing it out to even more people,
Right.
But yes, you want to keep improving those thumbnails over time.
Right.
But as views come in and as impressions go up, some other metrics can go down as well.
Yeah, that's you gotta always keep that in mind. I think, and that's where kind of get depressed. It's like, oh, but I'm doing so well. It's like it's like up and down.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
But also, like try to figure out what it is. Like, what keyword is it that's bringing in those views?
yeah, that's
And
like
then try to follow that video up with another video similar,
Back to
that's like,
back.
because you've got a trend going on your own channel and you want to capitalize on that. So you're bringing all these people in, have another video that you can recommend at the end, that YouTube can recommend through suggested, and that is going to come right in there and capitalize on that trend. And then
right,
you could possibly keep that going. And then you build momentum by doing that.
John
right.
Chapman, welcome to the live stream. Thank you for joining us as well.
So I don't know if it was the ghost peppers that brought people in, if it was the Dunkin' Donuts that brought people in, but that's where you look at your analytics and it'll tell you what keywords you're getting that traffic from, and you need to find another keyword within that same realm to target
Mhm.
to bring in more traffic, and then you can keep that wave going. And then that next one might hit 4,000 views, and then you do the next one and it hits 10,000 views, and you just keep that train rolling.
Yeah, and
You can get caught up though. You got to be careful. And I was listening to somebody. I think she was on video influencers like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And she got caught in this trap though.
Jade.
Yeah, Jade. She got caught in this trap of becoming known because she did this Instagram video, and she followed that same strategy, but she followed it and followed it and followed it, and she kind of lost herself because she wasn't doing her own content. And what she recommended, and I'm testing this myself, is to do about a 50-50. So she's still doing those trending videos, but then
mhm.
she's doing about the other 50 is doing her content, doing the stuff that she wants to do, so that she's still having her creative outlet, but she's still riding that trend and riding that wave on her channel.
This is what I love, because me and Pips were just talking about that before this live stream. So this is the stuff, because not everything I say is correct. Actually, I'll take that back. If I do say something, it's because I've heard it somewhere else and I want to share it with creators. But what I love to do, like I said, is what are all these big creators saying, and then bringing it here. But that
Yeah,
that's I was saying, you don't want to be the donut man, but maybe you do. But if
right,
you don't want to lose yourself in that trend, before people are like,
Right.
why are you doing spaghetti now? We want
right,
donuts,
right. Yeah,
you know?
I like more interaction with I go through drive-throughs and I try to film um the drive-through. I mean the attendant, or what do you call them, the cashier, when you go
Yeah.
through the drive-through. I'm like, is that okay? I'm making a YouTube and they're like, yeah, so see the one tomorrow if you go and see it. I asked this guy at Cousin Subs, I said, what makes your cheese curds, or do you think your cheese curds are better than Culver's? And he's like, oh, way better than Culver's.
Ooh,
So now he's excited because he's going to get a gold star from his manager, who's going
yes.
to tell his friends to watch his face. But I didn't set him up as saying, exactly how do you make yours, exactly how are yours different? Or how are yours better? Because I don't want to trip them up. So I'm just like, do you think they're better? Well, yeah, of course I do. But I have the human factor. I have going through the drive-through, having a guy hand me or girl hand me their food, and it's like, then I go back and then I'm talking with myself, and I go into the content. But it gives a little more, I think, I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's better than, say, sitting at a table. But the number one thing is, you're not going to know if that worked or not until you really do look at your analytics. Like I said, your donuts video, same thing. It's when you're looking at your watch time, something I'm learning on this channel, because this is different content. James, you mentioned that too. This is different than what I did as a family YouTuber. Totally different audience, different types of engagement. I have to entertain in a different way. So right now I'm looking at 10-minute videos, 14-minute videos with a average watch time of 4 minutes. And I'm kind of seeing that trending there. So one, I'm not being entertaining enough, or two, maybe people came for what they needed and got out, or they're just not getting what they thought they would get. So I think that even for me, that learning opportunity is okay. Seeing if I can push shorter videos, getting that content out quicker. And for you, try that out, see how it works, and
Yeah. Now, I have one thing I want to add on this trending issue, because I had this issue on my channel. Before you just dive into the Dunkin' Donuts man too, you really want to look at where that traffic came from and your audience retention. Because you could have brought them in on the trend, but lost them the second they got on your channel. I had a video on my channel. It was one of my most viewed videos. And if I had followed the whole trending idea on that video, I would have done something stupid, because the keyword I was targeting with the channel was called Death Pile Challenge, because it was about my reseller death pile. Well, YouTube got something screwed up in their algorithm and was showing my video for Dog Pile Challenge.
Oh,
I got a ton of views.
Great point.
Ranking for Dog Pile Challenge, and my bounce rate was atrocious. 80% of my traffic left within the first minute.
That's a great point, James.
Exactly.
So you want to look at where the traffic's coming from and look at that retention. If you got the right keywords or something very similar to what your target keywords were, and you got a good retention, then definitely that's a trend you want to follow. But if you had a high attrition rate, then you need to look at, why did I lose all these traffic? And if it's because of the keyword, then maybe it's not something that you need to follow. If it's turning people off, and it might have just been your best presentation, your video intro, whatever. But that's where you've got to dissect and look at that retention report and really figure out where you lost people.
Emily Lewis, welcome to the stream. Thank you for being here as well. John Chapman, if you have anything in the chats that you'd like to mention, maybe any advice or any questions, if you guys at any point have questions, let us know. We'd love to try to answer them together as a team here, as a community. And I want to pull something up here real quick so people have a good idea of what we're talking about. So I pulled up a random video. I'm going to just go ahead and expand this out. So starting on YouTube, this was actually my first video, okay? And why I'm pulling this up is because you see this retention rate here. And I tried to bring this up in my last video. I don't know if it worked or not. But right here, at 25 seconds, it's very typical when you start off in a video, you're going to see this drop as people getting impressions. They think they're going to like your video, and they're like, no, I don't like this at all. So you're going to see a lot of that droppage, but we want to keep them around as long as possible. But bam, look at that drop. Why is that? And you want to do that with each and every single one of your videos. And as we're looking at our audience here, when people are saying, why aren't people subscribing to my channel? Why aren't I getting those views? Well, look at this right here. Not subscribed. 77% of the watch time from this video specifically are from people who are not subscribed. So the better that I do as a creator at giving people better content, the better chance that I have, because YouTube is pushing this out. This content is going out there. Only 22% of the views from here are actually from my own subscribers. So that just kind of tells you that, all right, well, that engagement in the beginning, looking at that drop off, really what was it that, and that's how harsh reality sometimes to look at.
Yeah.
And James, we're talking about traffic sources, and here, I like one of the secrets that I like, not really secrets, but great tips, is suggested videos. You can actually see which videos are like yours or that are pushing them out. And I always like to comment on those videos and say, hey, YouTube, pull this up, and engage with those channels. But it really gives you an idea, like he was saying, especially of, really what keywords were used, what are the topics, and look at your traffic sources. And I
I
think this
find
will
new
give you.
channels that way that I can follow myself.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you're passionate about your niche, that's a great way to find new channels that maybe you don't know. I've done that myself.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
All good points. Absolutely.
John Chapman says, "How important is branding before starting your channel?" James, you wanna say something on that first, and
Honestly,
then Pips, I'll
before
let you chime
starting,
in.
my personal opinion on it, especially if you're a brand new creator and you've never done a channel before, just start doing videos. Um, but otherwise, like when I did my last channel, it was very intentional. I already had the business, and it was just an extension of a business I was already running,
Right.
and so everything, the branding and already all that stuff was just already in place. When I started this channel, I spent a lot of time thinking about my branding and stuff beforehand, but it was much more intentional, and I was in a different place of understanding of how YouTube works before I ever started it and what I wanted to do with it. Um, but honestly, for most creators that are just coming in, just getting started, you may not even know what your niche is yet or anything. I would just start creating videos, start testing the waters, and get something out there and learn and hone in on your niche, hone in on all the sub niches, and doing all this stuff as you go.
Agreed. Pips, do you have something to add on that?
No, I agree full-heartedly. I think absolutely. And when I started, though, I did it a little backwards, and that's why I do agree, because I wish I would have done things a little differently. I wrote a script. I didn't read off the script, but I kept saying, remembering the script, just like if I was, a player or something like that.
Yeah.
And then I kept turning the camera off, going, "Oh, I got to go over that line again. I got to go." Like a 4-hour video. I mean, it took me like 4 hours to get maybe even, a couple minutes done. And I was like, "Oh, no, this isn't fun. It's not what I do. I want to do this because I like it." It became more of a job, and it was just like, now it's work, and it
So
shouldn't
where
be.
so where are you at now, Pips? What's the difference between when you started and now?
Okay. I'm not, I just go with it. It's like, I'm not worried about saying, I'll just go with it. I'm just my natural self. I'm not worried about stuttering over line. It's just human.
And it
So
does help, I think, when you're not afraid of it, I think that now you're just you're conscious now, that you kind of
right.
do that, and that's with, I think, making your content better,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know.
exactly. So, yeah, it's your face. It's like, oh, that can stand. Before it would be like, oh, we got to edit that out. That was not, professional. It's like it's just overthinking it. I think that's what a lot of people do, and that's what I did. I overthought it, and
I think it's a balance. And even when I'm editing and stuff, I'll actually leave some of the oohs and ums and ahs and some of the mistakes in there because it shows me being a real person.
real, exactly,
Versus I edit a lot of that stuff out if I got too many of them. But I
right,
do leave some of it in there, and I try not to be too self-conscious about it. It also depends on if I can cut it in a way that it doesn't look awkward if I cut that piece out.
right,
Because
right,
sometimes, the way and then I go talking with no pause, and you can't really get that cut in there really good without
yeah,
it sounding weird.
right, right,
So I'll leave it in there. And I've had
mhm.
some people tell me I shouldn't, but I think that's
You
part of what helps me connect with my audience. And one of the things that, I've had people tell me the reason they watch my channels on both of my channels over some of the bigger channels is because I'm more real than they
It's
are.
the realness factor.
There you go,
Absolutely.
there you go, and that's
So
why I.
I'm trying to keep it as real as I can while, polishing it up. I'm trying to do some different edits and cuts and things, testing different things, but I'm still
Mhm.
trying to keep it real. And you see where I am right here. I don't have the fancy backdrop. This is where I record most of my videos, sitting
Right.
right here in the chair.
And I
It's
think that is the way to move forward in 2021. That is what's going to separate creators in 2021 from, say, 2020 and even 2019. Everybody's keyword research, keyword research. Now, while that is important to get those extra views and impressions, so that way, hopefully eventually get those subscribers. But honestly, my opinion is that exactly what James said, especially, is the more that we're focused on just being ourselves, making the content the best that we can for the individual, but being yourself and not getting lost. It's not just about the keyword research. You can get all the impressions you want, but the moment somebody clicks, and that's, you know what I mean? That's the biggest difference, I think, is that people were so stuck on metadata and keywords that we're losing the human factor.
Everything's about people. Everything's about your viewer experience and the people on the other side of that video and what are they seeing. And everything YouTube wants, we get so caught up in the technical stuff like the metadata and all that, but all YouTube wants is a good YouTube viewer experience. And all their algorithms and everything that they do is just to try to provide the viewers with the best experience possible. So when you create videos with that in mind, you're going to make better videos and you're going to get those videos out to more viewers because YouTube's going to recognize that.
So what about YouTube Shorts, guys? Because I think that moving forward on YouTube, that brings up my thought is YouTube Shorts, given the best content for the individual, which is now the world that we live in, which is the fastest way possible, right? But giving the tips in a minute or entertaining somebody in a minute and competing with TikTok, what are your guys' thoughts?
You ever get off on a tangent while you're recording and edit stuff out that was great stuff but didn't fit your video?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I make my shorts out of.
Yep.
That's good.
I'm taking those clips of content that didn't fit my video but was great stuff, and I'm editing that stuff down and I'm turning it into shorts.
There you go.
That's great. Now, but do you really get followings from that? I mean, does that really materialize? Or
I just started testing the shorts myself. I've only got views. I haven't, but I've also been told it's taking anywhere from 4 days up to 2 weeks for them to be picked up into the shorts catalog and start really getting any traction. So I haven't had any blow up yet, but I just started testing it this week.
I'm going to show you guys something. Pips, I had mentioned this to you earlier, but I'm going to, for the sake of that we're live, I would love to share this with everybody. So a great way for everybody that is making YouTube Shorts. So I'm going to pull this back up here. Actually, I'll go ahead and maximize this real quick. So when we go over here to customization, this is where you guys can edit your video trailer here and for your returning. But here's a new thing that we can go ahead and add. So short videos here, I had a playlist that had YouTube hashtag shorts, but now you can go into add section and you can click here for short videos. And this is only going to pop up for mobile users. So Pips, we talked about that, and now I'm happy that we're here and just popped up in my mind. But yeah, so when somebody is on your channel, and if you guys do end up, say going on mine, you'll see it only on mobile, and it gives all your YouTube Shorts right across, so people can just go from one to the next.
That'll probably be a lot. If you're putting it into their playlist, then they'll be able to say, "Oh, look, you added a new video to your Shorts playlist, and we can put it." So that might help them pick it up faster too.
And I don't have to do thumbnails for those, right? I mean, otherwise you're creating more work for yourself by doing.
No, you don't need thumbnails for the shorts. I mean, you can on your homepage, but you don't have to.
So here's my opinion on that. And my opinion is if you do a thumbnail, and I did do a thumbnail for that video, but I'm starting to change my mind. I have one YouTube Shorts video, and I don't like the idea that if somebody clicks on this video and they don't know it's a shorts, and that's exactly what happened to me. It says hashtag shorts in it. It has it in the description and text, but it doesn't matter. People are just, ooh, cool, click. And next thing you know, it's in 9:16, right? Ratio. And they're like, this guy's an amateur. And that's what happened to me. So I was in a Facebook group and everyone's like, don't do what this guy's doing. That's amateur stuff. And I'm like, guys, the YouTube Shorts. And, you know, I got called out on it. So I just think and like James said, I think just the the realness to a channel, not worrying so much about, say, the thumbnail, and just, I like the idea that if somebody comes to my channel, they see all the YouTube shorts. And even if you make a thumbnail for it, it doesn't matter. YouTube is going to select the part wherever on that video, they're going to select the thumbnail regardless. So.
Yeah, when I do it on the short shelf, it's not gonna show a thumbnail. The only thing the thumbnail will help is for if it's showing up on your home page. But if that's only showing up on mobile anyway, it's not even going to show the thumbnail.
Exactly. So it's not even really worth it unless you're trying to get those clicks. But I think it's going to cause more harm than good, because if people don't really know it's a short or they're not paying attention to that.
I think that may be part of it. I mean, I know a lot of the channels that I've talked to are doing totally separate channels just for their shorts.
I see that. I see that. Like vidIQ.
Yeah, yes. Right.
And I think that's a great idea too. Or if, say, you haven't posted one video yet, or you're just really brand new on YouTube, maybe that's a great way to start too. If you don't know and you want to kind of get ahead of the curve, maybe that's a really great way to.
I just posted a short about that yesterday. One of the suggestions I made in one of the shorts I just did yesterday was, if you're new or if you're thinking about doing a pivot or testing a new niche, try shorts. See if you can get some traction.
That's good advice.
And, I know some people that are already doing that and testing out niches by using shorts. And if they can get some traction with shorts, then they're going to start doing more long form content on it. And I mean, my shorts take me literally 10 minutes to make. I mean, they take me less than a minute to create, and it takes me less than 10 minutes to edit it. So you can make those quick bites of content, get it up there. Because they're recommending, I mean, you can go up to a minute, but they're recommending for the shorts feature to keep it between 15 and 25 seconds.
That's great. You can, I like what your idea, James, is just taking some of the outtakes of some of your videos, and you already have them already.
Yeah, if you're already creating content, take some of your outtakes. Take some of those things that were good content that just didn't fit the video. Because I do it all the time. I'm ADD, and I'll go off topic and go off on a long thing. So I can get 5 or 6 shorts out of one of those little off topics. Or sometimes I've put together a whole video off of going off topic.
Right.
And I think that's genius what Nick Neiman did. And actually, I see what a lot of big YouTubers are doing now. So it's not always about just copying what other creators do. I think it's always, taking what they do, and if it's working, see if it works and try it for yourself. Also try to do what they do and make it better. But yeah, I love the idea of, especially say live streams. If you're live streaming, so we've been on this live over an hour now, time flies. That's why I had to go and run and get a water. But I think it's unique that there's so much great content, even in this live stream, where I can go ahead and edit it afterwards. And all the different topics that we're even bringing up. And this is what I love. And I want to continue to do this over and over again. But absolutely, yes, I can edit it afterwards. And whether it's a YouTube short, whether it's, this, that, and the third, pushing out more content, because there's value here. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that like button too. Don't forget to subscribe and click that bell if this is your first time. So I always like to remind people.
Right. It's great, guys. I'm excited. We got a couple other people on, and I think it's all coming together. I mean, I hope that everybody that's on, we all stick together. There's a lot of value here.
I'll be here.
Yeah,
I'll be here, and that's the idea, man. Is to let this help your channel, and that's honestly, it's my goal. I don't know why. I don't know why, and I'm not going to sit here and be fake and be like, I was born to teach people. No, I did the channel, and James said it too on the last channel. People are always like, how do you do that? What is YouTube? Like, do you even get money? And I'd said that before, but that is what really got me started, because I'm like, oh, here's how to do it. Because I started to know those answers. And in Pips, for you, you're a family, you're a food review channel. And I think it's going to be great eventually when we get more food review channels. Like, oh, Pips, and just naturally collaborating and working with each other, not just sub for sub. And I can't, honestly, I can't stand it. But I think this is a great opportunity for creators to finally come together, because I feel like YouTube is missing that.
I agree 100%.
One of the problems that I've had with most of the networking or getting together channels is it turns into like a big sub for sub as they grow.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like, oh, you sub to me, I'll sub to you. We'll watch
Yes.
one or two of each other's videos, and that's not a collaboration. That's not a collaborative effort. But it's when we're sitting here, we're talking strategies, we're talking about things that work, we're sharing our ideas with each other. And if we network like that, and we use it as a way to actually make real connections with people, like we are doing right here, that's what we need. And everybody will benefit from it. You know, I may not be a foodie, but I'm probably going to check out Pip's channel because, you know, I like the ghost peppers and I want to see what those Dunkin' Donuts are like.
And I bet you like Pips, you know, and that's the thing, you know, while we're learning about Pips, you know, like you're like,
a great guy.
I like that guy. Yes.
I can too. You know, and I've done networking like that in other niches as well.
Right.
And gotten people that come to, because I run auctions on my channel. Well, when I'm getting auctions, I want people that want to come in and be interested in the stuff that I'm selling. And if I got something that I'm selling that's like handcrafted stuff, I might go to some of the crafting niches and talk to some of the people in there. You know? And I've found some really great channels. I've met some great friends. I got a friend of mine that's now doing auctions with me once every week or two.
There you go, man.
And we met through a crafting channel.
Isn't that fun? And if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And like I said, you just know, it. You're not just going after every single, channel that's like yours. Or it's you just click, and like I said, you click here and.
And I see the word. I'll tell you a word I hear all the time, guys. It's the word genuine. I see it on the sub for sub channels and all this stuff. And I'm only looking for genuine subscribers. Like, what does that mean? And then I'll genuinely subscribe to yours. Like, you're just doing the same thing, but throwing in a really good word. And Emily and Lewis. So Lewis, the guy who runs that channel, me and him are cool. Like, we met in Vegas, and this is when I started to fall in love with YouTube. It wasn't the subs, it wasn't the likes. I chased it, and every time I chased a new point, I never got anything from it. But it wasn't until I met Lewis and his children, and we did a collaboration in Vegas, that I was like, wow, like something that I put on the computer made a friendship, and we talk almost like every other day. And that's where I think that another thing that really influenced me to do this, because that human aspect, we are missing it. We need it now more than ever. And I love that YouTube affords us the opportunity to build friendships. And but now we can build friendships and we can help build influence. And I think that's it's really dope.
Yep, sure is.
And start doing the same things, networking just like this in your own niche and building that community. This is how I got started with my other channel. I was just going out to other live streams, networking with people, talking to people, getting up there. I got invited to a collaboration with another channel. Not only did I, got some subscribers, which is great, and a lot of those people are still watching my channel now, but I made some really good friends for that collaboration. There was 5 channels in that collaboration, and I'm going to see one of them in 2 days.
That's
great. And we're not even all necessarily tightly niched together. We don't do a whole lot of content together because we're not tightly niched together with our channel content, but we still talk.
And I'm going to use that word again, genuine. Okay. So when you're reaching out to other channels, of course you want people to come to your channel. Okay. But when you let go of that and you really do provide feedback, like you watch the video, everybody does first. And you're never first. There's always somebody before you anyways. But I think that if you watch the video, those big creators, if you're really looking for that response, you need to watch that video, provide feedback, say you learned something. And sure, you could say something like, oh man, I just did a video like that too. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's not just, hey, come check out my channel. Loved yours. Okay, cool. Hopefully I'll see you there. All right. Don't forget, let's be friends. Right. And it's, stay in touch. That's the one. It's like, stay in touch. I've never talked to you. So I think, providing that good feedback, being a human, and really, we work really hard to make videos. I mean, God, like how hard was it, Pips, to make this live stream work? Like
Oh,
before,
yeah, but together we get through it, right?
yes, but that's part of it. But yeah, I don't know, genuine. If you're really going to be genuine. And I think that the more you stop focusing, more that you can probably help somebody else, and stop looking for something in return. Which is the basis of this channel. I think that one is just the world needs more of it, but two, I think that's where you'll find your true followers and your real audience that you're really looking for.
Yeah, it's a no pressure content creator group, and it's just like no pressure not to go and thinking, what are they going to want back from me? What are it's our knowledge, and it's like support
Giving the community, not what you're getting from the community.
Exactly.
That's the focus of everything on YouTube. It should all be about what you're giving, and the things that you get in return are gonna come. The things that you want to come to you will come. You gotta focus on giving, not taking.
Yes. Exactly right. And it just makes it it's refreshing, because I've gone to some channels in the beginning when I started, and it was real faithful, and I'm not going to out a channel here, but before you know it, it's like I'm getting advertising every single day. Join my class, join my training here, and it's all and it would seem like I was high pressure sales almost.
Mm-hmm.
And, I want to find an area that it can talk, and we can exchange and join in without having to worry about buy my video or my book set on what we're talking about.
And you know what the thing is that this channel may be ran by me, right? But I think, Pips, it's going to be cool, especially for you, James, too, just to look. Even like I said, even a month from now, I think everybody gets advice. I feel like one of the biggest mistakes that people do when they're watching advice channels is they don't take the advice. And if you start with that advice, and Pips, I know we looked at your about page, you've already made some changes. James threw something great in there. Hey, let's look at the keyword research there. Throw that in there too. But making these changes and really implementing the advice, I think. It starts with the foundations, but it starts with actually doing it. And Milk Bottles Down Cherry Lane says, I feel YouTube censors everyone. James, you want to say something on that?
I don't think it's censoring everyone. This goes back to what we were saying earlier. I don't think they were here when we said it. YouTube is all about providing that user the best user experience. This is something a lot of people get wrong about YouTube. I'm going to say this a little differently, and maybe it'll click with some people, and maybe it'll piss some people off, which sometimes can be a good thing. You are not YouTube's customer as a creator. You are their product.
Hey, I'm in the military, so I can relate with that.
That are watching video. Okay? So you have to provide YouTube with the best product possible, because they don't care about your product. They care about providing the best value to their customers, which are the people watching videos. And if your video is not what the viewers are saying through their feedback is the best, then they're not going to keep serving it to new viewers. How many times do you go to the grocery store and they take a product off the shelf? And it may have been a product you loved. The only reason they pulled that product off the shelf is they weren't selling enough of it. The customers in mass didn't like it. So they took it off the shelf, whether a few people liked it or not. YouTube's going to be the same way with your videos. If enough people are not liking that video when they try to serve it, they're going to take it away and serve a different video in its place.
I first of all, Milk Bottles Down Cherry Lane. That's a very unique name. Pretty cool. But yeah, people have views that oppose the system are censored, and I don't know if you're getting at the fact of maybe channels being shadow banned. Which is, I think, another topic in itself. But, looking at Biden's son and people making videos and channels have been banned. So maybe that's where Milk Bottle's getting at is, the intent, where there may be politics or whatever it is. I've seen that quite often. There's been a lot of channels that have gotten deleted because they've made content that maybe politically or whatever. Maybe
it might have been, but here's the thing: as I've seen content that's gotten out on both sides of the political spectrum too.
true,
It's not one-sided.
true.
I think it's more of the type of content and how controversial that content gets, or how they presented the content,
Yeah.
not necessarily the actual content itself.
I'm down with that.
I am
Because
too.
I've seen pro-Trump videos taken down, and I've seen pro-Biden videos taken down.
Yep.
Right.
Me personally, I've stayed away from the whole political crap on YouTube. I try to keep it off of my channels, and I don't consume a lot of that kind of content.
Same.
So I haven't been involved in it, but I've seen videos and creators on both sides being slapped down by it. I don't think it's the political issue itself that's causing the censorship, but I didn't see the videos, so I don't know what was in the content that actually caused it to be censored. Most people jump to conclusions about what's causing a problem, when in reality, the problem was something totally different.
And I will say that here on Content Creator Hangout, I definitely steer away. I plan to steer away, and especially for creators too, because one thing we want to do is all get along. And I feel like even if we say we will, politics is it's like politics and religion, sticking to creatorship. So
Yeah. And I recommend, if you're not a political channel, keep politics off of your channel. If you're not a religious channel, keep the religion off your channel.
absolutely.
That's my personal opinion on it.
Yep.
And then you won't have that problem.
Absolutely. Well, James, I want to thank you for being here and offering all of your YouTube advice, and I hope to see you back on here as well. Pips, is there anything that you wanted to add before we take off?
No, but I have to tell you, this is a real great experience. I love the new streaming software, and it's so clear. And I'm real excited to do more of these and be involved with more of these, and hope to see everybody there. I feel like we really have this bond. So
Yes.
I'm excited. James, we're good friends now.
Absolutely. James, any last words, James?
No, I mean, just if you haven't started creating, just create something. Just get out there and start uploading, and just keep making new videos. Don't try to, we talk about a lot of things in the advice channels. We talk about
Yes.
a lot of different strategies, and don't try to fix everything at once. And don't try to be perfect. Don't wait until you have the perfect video. Just start creating, and try to improve 1% with every video that you make.
I like that.
1% improvement with every video you make over the course of a year. If you do a weekly video, that's a 52% improvement.
Right.
I really like that. And it takes time. Yeah, I talked about this the other day, but it's like playing basketball if you've never played before. And I've had some fun friends to play basketball with who are just totally uncoordinated. But yeah, it's just like just having them just try to throw a three, and it's like they lift one leg up and all that stuff, and they'll go over the backboard. But if you stand right below the rim and you keep working on your follow through, then you can slowly take those steps back. I used that example the other day, and I was really proud of myself, so I wanted to bring it up here. But it's true. I think it's like that with anything. And yes, consistency is important, okay, for the algorithm. But it's also important for you as the creator. I think posting once a week, I think that is minimal. I think that's great, not only because you want YouTube to gather that data and push it out to the right people, but also that way you're getting better as a creator. And you're doing yourself a disservice as well as your audience if you aren't getting better. But like James says, the hardest thing to do in the beginning, I think, is hit record and then publish. Let that video be bad. Make your first 100 horrible videos, but let each video get better. And before you know it, throughout time, those analytics will be better because you're not spending time on sub for sub, and you're spending more time on your content and building relationships like we do here on Content Creator Hangout.
Well said.
So thank you guys for joining me today in this live stream. I do plan to do these a lot more. I love doing this, and I love the advice, and I hope that everybody in the live stream or somebody that is watching this on replay, I hope you are gaining a lot of great content and advice from this as well. And make sure that you actually implement the advice that's given.
Great.
Well, thank you guys for joining. Yes.
It's
All right,
awesome.
fellas.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Well, have a good one, and I will see you guys in the next video.